Welcome to the pacing tip of the month. This month I'm going to talk about Dr. Alan Franklin's 3 stages of ME. There has been many attempts at stage models in ME. Most of them are centered around functional ability or how long a person has been ill. Dr. Franklin's stages are different because they describe illness activity in the body, how aggressive the illness is at any given time. And experience shows that if you select the correct pacing strategy for each stage, you increase the chances of moving to a less aggressive stage of illness. In this video, I'll focus on the first of the 3 stages, and then I'll focus on the second and third stages in later videos. Alan Franklin was a paediatrician in Britain, and he presented these stages in a booklet about ME in children about 30 years ago. And originally he called the stages toxic, convalescent and recovery stages. In the newest version, which is still available from the Young ME Sufferer Trust, I think they were renamed the unstable stage, the stabilizing stage and the remission stage, which is what I've used in my book. The unstable stage is characterized by a high symptom level and a very aggressive illness. You feel ill all the time, and this is true regardless of your functional ability. Franklin's stages are not associated with a particular functional ability, so you can have a very aggressive illness and a high functional ability, or a considerably calmer illness and a low functional ability because you're about to get better. Now, as I said, in the unstable stage, the symptom level is high and the disease activity in the body is high. The activity level and the symptom level both tend to be unstable, very up and down and confusing, and any excess activity tends to lead to setbacks. So people will be going from crash and setback to crash and setback. This is a graph of the activity level of a person in the unstable stage. As you can see, there's a big difference between the top and the bottom. As I said in my previous video, there are many reasons for ups and downs in ME, but at this stage, activity level is usually an important mediator. When the illness is very active, there is no safety margin, so overactivity happens very easily, even when we're trying not to. And in ME, overactivity causes relapse. So a very important point at the unstable stage is to stabilize the activity level at a level which does not worsen symptoms in the short or in the long term. In other words, the most important thing you can do is to find a sustainable activity level and, of course, address any other causes of the high illness activity. But the other causes usually aren't enough to stabilize the illness if the activity is not sustainable. So the sustainable activity level must form the foundation, and then you can add other strategies on top to further enhance the process of stabilization, because the goal at the unstable stage is to get the illness to calm down, and stabilizing the activity level at a low level is usually an effective way of doing that. If you manage it, what usually happens is that the most dramatic symptoms begin to calm down, and the bad days tend to become a bit less bad, and then still a bit less bad, and gradually you may have a long string of good days. So the question is, if your activity level is like this, where are you supposed to stabilize it? Now the tops here represent overactivity. If you stabilize your activity level at the top, every day will be too much, and the result will typically be steady deterioration. If you stabilize somewhere in the middle, you will typically get more stable, but not necessarily better. If you stabilize at the lower half, somewhere down in the lower half, you will typically get so much surplus rest that the body gets a chance to regenerate. When I say so much surplus rest, I don't necessarily mean a lot of surplus rest. That's often not possible. Interestingly, in British guides to pacing, it's often assumed that people seesaw between overactivity and underactivity, actually doing too little. And in my experience, that is not common at all. Instead, people do little because they're absolutely forced to do so by the illness, and they tend to do more as soon as they can, often a bit too early. So the important thing to remember is that restituting rest is not underactivity. If resting actually helps the body regenerate, you're giving your body what it needs. In some cases, it is possible technically to do too little. I mean, if you're actually able to work part-time, then lying flat in bed all day will not help you. But if you're so ill that you have to lie flat in bed, then it will be necessary to do that. The important thing is to remember that good pacing isn't about doing as little as possible. It's about finding a balance that allows your body to thrive, or at least to function as well as possible. In later videos, I'm going to talk about something called repairing rest and healing rest, and stabilizing at the lower end of a spectrum tends to give more healing rest, which in turn improves chances of improvement. So good pacing does not guarantee improvement, but it gives the body the best possible chances of improvement. And as I said, if you stabilize at a low level which the body can actually cope with, then things tend to calm down and you tend to move towards the stabilizing stage, which I'm going to describe in the next video. Thanks for watching this. I hope you found it useful. And if you're wondering, the graph comes from my book. I'm going to show it to you. I'll just find it first. Yeah, Classic Pacing for a Better Life with ME, which is a very thorough guide to this. I'll be back next month with more on the stabilizing stage.